Hello people, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Ripple CTO says he holds XRP and would raise the XRP price if he could. Okay guys, let's get into it. Groundhog Day. Okay, so what's this all about? Okay, the huge famous tweet of XRP can't be dirt cheap, which David has actually addressed this many times at this point. Like, we're actually just going around in circles at this point, but yet it's come back to the forefront and it's stirring the pot once again. And look, my thing with this is, like, I'm sure you guys are probably just as tired of hearing this as I am, but the thing for me is how, like, some influencers are still trying to make this a thing. Like this has been put to bed many times. And so I'm just going to get into this now and address it. I would like to say once and for all, but you know, I've addressed it numerous times. So let's get back into it. Let's see what we've got here. So, okay. You've got the post here. It can't be dirt cheap, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not going to read it. I'm sure, you know, many of you guys who are real XRP holders know what this tweet is. It's infamous at this point. So, we've got a response to someone, and he said to David Schwartz's tweet he's recently put, and yet 7 years on, it's still dirt cheap, right? So David Schwartz says, last I checked, $1 million worth of XRP still costs $1 million. So making a $1 million payment with XRP will cost at least $1 million. And that's what just completely puts this whole thing to bed, because the price doesn't change. Like, it's cheaper in terms of the transaction, yes, which he said, but in terms of the actual transfer itself, nothing's changed. So the price is actually irrelevant, right? And so you've got here just like a continuation of this, right? And another guy said, can you all just stop suppressing the price already? Saying to David Schwartz. And then David Schwartz has said, I hold XRP. If there was some way I could get the price of XRP to go up, I assure you that I would do it. And to me, this is where you just need to end this. Like, you've got it coming out of David Schwartz's mouth. And so, you know, people just don't want to accept this. Now, I will continue on a little bit more here, because you've got something from Jungling, who I do actually respect as a content creator, because he's very realistic. And he's actually added something into this. So I'll give a bit of pushback here, even in regards to David Schwartz. But to me, like, this is the problem, right? And David Schwartz says this himself. Everybody thinks that David Schwartz is on this whole, like, cryptic vibe and that, you know, don't believe what he says. Although it's funny to me when people say this, because it's like, okay, they believe when they think that the dirt cheap XRP, they believe that's true. But then when he debunks it and says, no, that's not what I mean, they're like, well, then that's not true. So they believe anything that supports the idea of $10,000 and things like that. But they won't support anything where he says, no, this isn't true. This isn't what's going to happen. So, you know, for me, it's like, what this is, it's confirmation bias, right? This is what happens. And this is a common thing when people believe in stuff that they want to believe in, right? It's like any little thing that will support what they believe, they will latch onto. And although you can show them an alternative to what they're saying or what they believe, they don't want to accept that because it goes against what they believe, right? So they just latch onto what they think is correct and they just ignore anything else. And so, you know, like, I've already seen like a few people discussing this. And once again, they're saying, you know, David Schwartz addresses the dirt cheap XRP. And even though he's clearly said, look, if I could raise XRP's price, I would. They're still making things out of this. They're like, oh, well, we know that David likes to be cryptic, you know. He never said that, you know, other people can't raise the price. He's not saying that Ripple can't raise the price. And it's like, come on, man. Like, it's been 7 years, first and foremost. So if they really wanted to raise the price, do you not just think they would have done it by now? Like, let's be realistic, right? Because this is the narrative that a lot of people believe. They believe that the whole lawsuit was fake and it was designed to get people out of XRP, right? So let's just think if we was going down with that narrative. If this lawsuit was fake that happened with the SEC, what would have been the logical thing to have happened if they wanted to keep people out of XRP? Well, the logical thing to have happened would be they go through the lawsuit, okay? They get the resolution of the lawsuit, but rather than them saying, oh, your institutional sales were a problem, but your retail sales are fine, they would flip that, right? They would say, oh, your retail sales are a problem. You've got to stop the retail sales, but your institutional sales are fine. And then that cuts out retail straight away. So wouldn't that make more sense? And then raise the price after the lawsuit once all of retail are locked out? Isn't that like the common sense approach to this? That's not what happened, because the lawsuit was real. There's nothing fake about it. Like, there was a very real risk of XRP being deemed a security. And so like people like keep jumping to these kind of things, these kind of like theories and stuff with no real evidence to back it up. And like, I just, like, there's enough information out here, and like the SEC are still out here suing other cryptocurrencies. So are all these lawsuits fake? You know, like they're suing Coinbase. They're trying to put more cryptocurrencies out there, saying that these are other cryptocurrencies are possible securities. They're looking to potentially sue Ethereum. Like, are all of these fake? You know, is it just XRPs that's fake then? Like, you know, I just think people like clutch at straws with this, man. And so let's go a bit further anyway. After David Schwartz has said this, this guy called Crypto Guy said, why don't you denounce the riddlers then, instead of feeding into their BS? Okay, so David Schwartz has said, when I do, they say I'm speaking in some code and find some deeper meaning in it. Or they reason that, quote, of course he has to say that, unquote, and ignore me. I try to deprive them of oxygen and counter their nonsense with rational responses instead. So he's even saying it right there. Even when I tell you guys, no, this isn't the case. You guys are just thinking that there's some other meaning, that I'm, you know, just saying this to put you guys off and things like that. And this is exactly what the influencers do. This is what the influencers do. They say, oh, well, you know, they've got NDAs. You can't say this. And, oh, of course he's going to say that. But then when he says something positive and it sounds good, like, you know, for example, this whole dirt cheap thing. Oh, they believe that, you know, that's true, of course, because, you know, that supports the $10,000 theory. So no, you know, he can tell us that, but he can't tell us the other stuff when he's saying that this stuff is not great, or that Ripple hasn't been, you know, as successful as they want it to be and things like that. Oh no, that's just them telling lies. But him talking about XRP having to be $10,000, that's all real though, right? You know, this is what I mean. Like, again, confirmation bias. You just support the things that suit the narrative because that's what you want people to believe. And for some people, I'll tell you the truth, some of these influencers know at this point this isn't true. They just keep pushing it for content and views. It's that simple. They just know it's a gravy train and they just keep rinsing it because people keep watching it and they keep lapping it up. It really is that simple. Now we've got Junker Link here, and he's put a response to David Schwartz, which I'm gonna be honest here and address this as well. He's put, let's not ignore the fact that you engage with the riddles and enjoy stirring things up. I believe you should have fun and do what you like, but playing the victim here seems a bit disingenuous. Now look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not someone who actually follows David Schwartz. I do like look at his posts from time to time, but I don't like look at absolutely everything he does. I have heard that he does do like jokes and things like that and posts and like riddles and stuff. And so look, if he has been someone who's kind of indulged in this kind of stuff in the past, then okay, fair enough. Like maybe you've kind of made a bed for yourself in that regard because you've played into it a little bit and then people have fed off of that. If that's the case, then you know what, that's just something that David Schwartz has to take on board. But at the same time, when you've got him here like clear as day telling you, I'm trying to tell these people this stuff isn't real, but nobody wants to listen. And like, for the amount of times that I've had to address this on my channel, I can only imagine how many times David Schwartz has had to address this, because I've seen him cover this at least 3 or 4 times. And this is like within like the last 2 years or something like that. Now, this is just in terms of, you know, like, this is just in terms of like seeing him on media, right? Like on YouTube and things like that. So you can imagine like when he's going to, like, for example, XRP Las Vegas, Tokyo, to do any kind of like seminars and things like that, right? When they did the Ripple party, right, when they won the lawsuit, can you imagine how many times people are trying to like talk to him about this? He's probably just exhausted from even hearing this. And I used to have a post by David Schwartz as well. I really have looked high and low for it and I could not find it, but I promise you he did say this. Someone showed him the post about the $10,000, about like they can't be dirt cheap. And afterwards he put, I honestly wish I never said this. It's been taken out of context so many times. And he actually said that. I thought I had it bookmarked or something, like, so I could go back to it, but I've looked like literally high and low and I can't find it anymore. But he said this, you know, like he you know, it came out of his own mouth. Like he said, I regret saying it because people have just took it so like massively out of context. And so, look guys, like he said, XRP is an asset that he holds a high quantity of because he's one of the architects of XRP and the XRP ledger. Ripple hold a massive amount of XRP. If they wanted to just raise the price, do you not just think they'd have done it at this point? Like, you know, let's just put all this, you know, they're testing out for the banks and they're making sure everything's like, come on. It's been 7 years, guys. If this was all meant to be the way it was, and okay, even if you say this, right, they say that the lawsuit was fake, right? Okay, well, let's go with that narrative. The whole reason why they say that the lawsuit was fake is because they was trying to get everything ready for XRP to take off, right? Because that's why a lot of people believe that XRP was going to go up to like $10,000 after the lawsuit, because they believe that was when the flip the switch event was, once the lawsuit was over. The lawsuit is done. Are we at $10,000? No. So like, even if you believe in that narrative still now and you're saying no, it was fake, well, what exactly has been accomplished then? Because it was meant to be holding them back so they could have all the banks ready. Well, the lawsuit's over now. Nothing has changed. So this is what I mean. Like, there's so much evidence to prove that the lawsuit being fake is just not realistic. But yet people still latch onto it, man. And look, like I say, I'm here just trying to give you guys real information. And that's why I'm addressing it again. This dirt cheap thing has been taken out of context. It's not what people make it out to be at all. And I think you just need to move on from it, because honestly, it's like trying to stick to this narrative that's just how old now, when we've just got no kind of change in this. It's like, why hold on to something that's been out for so many years and nothing has changed? Like, if that was going to be something that they was going to do, it would have happened by now, guys. Let's be real. Like, yeah, if you might say, oh, you don't know. Well, okay, you can say that, but let's go with what we can see. Does it seem likely that they have some kind of plan to change the price? And then you've actually got David Schwartz, the creator of XRP, telling you, literally telling you, no, I can't change the price. If I could, I would. These guys have the most to gain from doing that. Why would they be waiting? They would be doing it. So, look, man, it's just, you know, it's been taken massively out of context, guys. So, look, I'm going to leave it there because it's going to get to a point where it's like beating a dead horse at this point. But, you know, this whole narrative, I just think we need to just move on from it, because people are still trying to revive this narrative over and over again to keep getting the hype and the engagement. And to be honest with you, it's a dead topic at this point. It's clearly not relevant anymore. So let's just try and move on, guys. Alright, I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching this. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And hit that bell too. Take care.